Hello, Hitless Gaming here, bringing you another EVE Online kind of rundown or quick tips guide kind of thing. Today we're going to be talking about your overview, probably the most important thing in the game as it's what you interact with the most, and how to set it up properly so that you have a better experience in the game. Without further ado, we'll just go ahead and jump right on in. Today we have an Orca pilot that has command bursts. A random thing. I just undocked a random character and went with this. And I have a chat pre-opened. So me personally, people always ask me which overview I use. I like the ZTAC S overview pack. To join that channel, you would go into your Neocom menu, go social, chat channels, and then you type in ZTAC S overview. And then you hit join, and it will bring you into this channel. And what you do is you click the core and you load the core, and then you load the standard is what I prefer to do. So you load the core and then you load either extended, PVX1, and then you can do standard or compact. Difference between standard and compact is compact, instead of having combat targets, miscellaneous, friendly, warp out, you get 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a little bit more compact, and you can kind of condense it into the corner like this a little bit better. Is really the difference there. But I prefer the standard because I like to be able to read the things, and it kind of makes sense to be that way for me. So then you get a few tabs here, which are for different purposes. Little airplanes, a travel fit or travel overview. So it only shows gates, stations, the star, and gates and stations. So it's really easy for traveling. And then there's the combat one, which is generally for PVX. And this will load all PVX things. Like I said, I'm loading things here and it's kind of playing with it. But I spend most of my time in standard, and then miscellaneous shows, for me personally, I like miscellaneous for salvaging, as I add the Rex and stuff to this one, and I remove Rex and stuff from this one. And then you can kind of customize it from here further if you want to. So we're going to go ahead and kind of move this away and kind of show a couple of customization options. So there's two parts to your overview, and the first is the actual overview itself, and the second is actually brackets. So if we show all brackets, we'll get more brackets in space, but we're not in a dense spot. Maybe I should go make this in Jita. All right, so we're back. We're in Jita. The reason why I wanted to go to Jita for this purpose is because there's a lot of noise here. There's a lot of things happening, and it's a good place to show overview settings. So, as I was saying, there's two parts to the overview. There's what you actually see here, and then there's what you see in space, right? So we can see there's like little sentry turrets here, and then every single pilot has a kind of a thing on them, or a bracket, kind of showing what they are and where they're at. So we can kind of see everybody's listed here in a list, and then they're physically placed here in space. And if we open our overview settings by hitting this little cog right here and open overview settings, we're going to see that there are bracket presets and standard presets. So what I can do is I can show, for example, have brackets show for that for my PBX, and then I'll see the brackets in that way. And then I can make it so it only shows drones on brackets, or I can make it so it only shows friendly ships on my brackets, and occasionally a friendly ship will show up. Like I can show only things that'll show up on my D-scan, which is the D-scan all one, and you can change the bracket to match what you want to see. And then alternatively, there's a quick selection right here to show all brackets, which will show everything in space, and then to hide all brackets, which will make it so that only what you have selected will show up. And this is kind of helpful, being able to do that. And this is kind of this video is kind of going to show you kind of how things work, so you can put things together and form your own words. So neutral plus NPCs is what I prefer, or I can do the standard brackets combat. I believe it's brackets combat plus friendly drones, and there's bracket settings here. So we can do drones or minus drones, so we don't show drones in the brackets. Kind of helpful to have different settings if you want them. And then the other quick, easy thing that I want to show you guys is if you have something on that's not on your overview that you want on your overview that you know is in space, you can find the thing. So we knew this sentry turret was here, and we can right-click it and add, say, sentry gun to overview, and then we could find them in the overview now. And then if you want to remove something from your overview, the process is very simple. You can either find it in space, and you can right-click remove sentry gun for overview for this example, and you can re-add it. You can do the same thing with specific ships, and that will only change it on the tab that you have open. And speaking of the tab that you have open, let's talk about tabs. So you have many tabs, and you can kind of customize them to your own preference, depending on what you want on the tabs. So, for example, targets, we have light drones on the targets. What you can do is you can customize your overview for different tabs. So if you open up the overview settings, you'll see that there are tabs here, and each tab can be selected how you want. Tab presets is basically all the options of things that exist in the game, different entity types, and one super common one to have to be able to find is going to be what is it? The large collidable structure. People tend to add and remove this one a lot, as large collidable structures are important for missions and just various random things. This is something that people like to randomly add or not add. And so you can select all these things and customize this in an insanely deep way and make it exactly how you want. And there's so many customizable options in what you have selected and how you lay out your tabs that it's pretty hard to know everything. But like I said, the ZTAC-S overview kind of takes all the guesswork out of this pretty easily. And I'm just kind of giving you the tools that you need to set things up right. So far we've gone over the different tabs that we have, how to change a tab preset to a different tab preset. So you go into this menu here, and the tab, you got the tab name here. If you want to change what the tab looks like, you can do that however you want. So I just made them the same. And then I can do travel minus stations or travel plus stations. So if I wanted, for example, travel with plus stations, I just select plus ship plus station. Sorry, I want minus ship plus stations. So it doesn't show ships. And then tab presets is, again, the things. And then states, you can make it so different states are visible. This gets, again, complicated. And the ZTAC-S overview has a pretty solid standard one. Your group or your activity may require some deviance or variance from the standard. So you can make it so it'll always show a rec that's always been viewed, or always not show a rec that's always been viewed. I'm not sure exactly how this tab works, but I haven't played with it a lot. I've never needed to play with this. But you can basically hide things or make things show up the way that you want. Appearance allows you to see little different icons. For example, criminal versus or pilot is criminal versus pilot security status below 5. Kill rights, there's different ways that you can do these. You can even set them to different colors if you want. You can really kind of change things how you want. Blue one's that, but yeah, you guys kind of see what there is. There's a lot of customization here available. Columns is super important. It allows you to do things like put tags in here. And the cool part about columns is you can reorder them. So if I want the icon to be next to the tag, let's say I want the tag on the far right and the icon next to it, I can reorder them however I want. It's really easy to kind of reorder them and make them the way that you want. Ships, so this kind of makes it so that ticker appears a little bit differently when we show all brackets here. It'll make these ships appear in different ways. So we have the ship name there, and we can actually color how they name the ship name. So this one isn't insanely done, but you see how it takes off the ship type. I can put on the ship name too, so I can see what the ship's name is. Dr. Bad Boy's Noctis, or I can take off the ship name. But this tab kind of makes it so that when you click on something, it shows you more or less information. And there's a lot of different things that you can do. And then you can put things below the line break too. So line break, so I can make it so that the ship name is on top of it or above it. And the line break is kind of in the middle there. So I'll show you all the information across. So the ship type, alliance name, corp ticker, and everything will be on the top. And then the pilot's name would be on the bottom there, since that's below the line break. So you can kind of edit this how you want it to be. Miscellaneous will allow you to make some various changes. The really cool one is move entries with broadcast to the top. So if somebody broadcasts a target, it'll be brought to the top rather than staying where it is. So you don't have to scroll through everything to find a specific thing. So if somebody were to say broadcast a target, that broadcasted target would get moved to the top with that checked. As you can see, despite the fact that I want the distance or not, it'll just come up to the top. It makes it a little bit easier. History is the overviews that you've loaded recently. And the cool part about this tab is you can just drag it into a chat. If you want to drag it into the chat to share with somebody what your overview is, you can just go like that and drag it into a chat, and then that person will be able to save your exact overview settings in order to share it or change their overview settings to conform with you. And I just want to note one more time, brackets are like overviews. All the settings for brackets are the same as when you set up an overview setting and save it. If you go right click and you open overview settings and you set up where was it at? Is tab presets, and you go types and you save an overview setting and you build one. For example, I'm messing with this one right now. But when you save this, you can change the tabs and you can put your entire overview settings into the brackets so that both brackets and the overview can be customized however you'd like. There is a crap ton of customization and availability in this, and for simplicity's sakes, I just use ZTACS overview. But people have gotten creative, made all kinds of things how they want to, and I just felt like I'd give you guys a quick overview of the customization available. And I know this is just learning the ABCs of the overview, and it is impossible for me without going into a crazy long 30-minute video, 40-minute video about the overview to make something that actually goes over everything. So if you want more information, I'm sure that there is a eUni wiki page. ZTACS overview chat's a good place to talk in, as is your corporation alliance chat will generally have if you have questions about your overview, is a good place to go. And that being said, make sure you guys fly fun, keep on bringing each other up, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Docking permission requested. Docking